is the motherfucking queen. NBA young boy. Let's go.
Can't do buying all the bottles, what you can't do. Supposed to be shining, but she noticed that my chain do. Late night sex, I won't see what that mouth do. Yeah, bounce that ass, do it how your mama taught you. Real made nigga from the trenches, do no pip.
Welcome. You're now tuned into the Eat, Pray, Ball podcast, the one podcast bridging cultures all around the world through the love of soccer. I don't know nothing about this song, but that shit kind of came in hard. What's up? You are with the usual suspects. It's your boy, Matt Marshall. We are with our boy, Thomas Pierce, our New Jersey native Arsenal fan, our other Arsenal fan in the building, Ask Austin, all the way from Houston, Texas, and my MFing favorite, Mr. Juan, a nice Barcelona fan with a little Man City sprinkle on there. What's up, boys? Welcome back. We've been on a two-week hiatus, but I could never be more excited to be back talking soccer, talking life with y'all boys.
You made sure to mention that Arsenal shit, huh?
Listen, that is for the show. Those are for any new listeners coming in. They want to know who we are. By the way, Matt Marshall, your host. I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm only going to say I'm a Chelsea fan on the weeks that we do well. By the way, we've only had one loss all year. Some other fans on this show can't say that. But anyway, if y'all want to start, I promised Thomas, I begged him to come to the show tonight, and I promised him by saying I will not talk about the North London derby any more than is necessary. But I mean, I'd be remiss if we didn't know. Like that's another goose egg, 2 to goose egg for y'all boys. If you want to say anything about your team, you can. You don't have to. We can move on. We already know the same old Arsenal story. We've talked about it hella times, but haven't we won? We already know they don't have heart. They don't got leaders. Maybe they don't have coaching.
Midfield.
They definitely don't have a midfield.
That's what we really don't have. Yes.
Definitely don't. Yeah. I just want to remind you, Thomas, 3 weeks ago, what was it? 4 weeks ago? Pate after Pate. Yeah, that's your midfield. What's going on?
Pate's injured, first of all. You saw him limping off the field.
I saw him on that field taking that L, but yes, maybe he's injured now.
It's the transition. The transition is the problem. Like, Son just should not have had that space to score that first goal.
Oh, fucking mild,
literally,
dog.
we were attacking them. We were like pummeling them. The Son just like create this like insane goal.
I'll agree. It was completely against the run of play, which is Jose's strategy. BTW,
which is both of their goals, actually.
Yeah.
Right. But again, that's their strategy. So it's like they did the same thing against Man City. They sit, they absorb. I mean, that's been Jose's coaching for years. We know this. Sit, absorb pressure, play very ugly, and then you have some key attacking players who can just get it done on the counter.
Get it done on the counter.
But I don't understand. Like, Son is fast. I get it. Like, Son can run by anybody. We've seen that crazy goal. But and y'all were still playing like 5 in the back. I guess Hector Bellerin was all the way up the field. But for Rob Holding, Gabriel, there was somebody else. I think it was Xhaka. For them all to just be backing off Son and looking at anybody he could pass to, rather than like literally, he's the goal scorer on the team.
His ass, bro. Like, I'm playing hella soft. Like we talked about heart, and like, bro, I don't see it nowhere. Nobody's stepping up. Aubameyang, we paid wild bread, ain't even stepping up to be on his captainship. Bro, this is like,
I will say,
so stressful, bro.
So Son's goal was against the run of play, and it was a very impressive goal. It was outside of the box, curler. Like, it's not
for sure.
It's not like
the goalie was way out of position.
The goalie was way out of position, and that's what I'm saying. Like, there's just like little things that add up to these things. And again, it wasn't a 5-0 drubbing. It wasn't like you guys didn't have a good chunk of possession. It just looked like every time Aubameyang, Willian, who else was up there? Saka.
When you have 7 defenders on the field and like only 3 of them are like in the right position, you're like, what the fuck are the other 4 doing?
Bro, eating up that money.
They were up the field confused.
Because so in the last game against Wolves, like, Arsenal has a lot of crosses. They're just not going to anyone.
Literally going to the other team.
Crossing the fucking
They're going
ball.
Right to the other team, bro.
They're crossing to a bunch of short players
for a breakaway down the field.
It doesn't make sense. But Juan, Man City does the same thing, and somehow it does make sense. So what is the disconnect between what Arteta learned under Pep and what he's bringing to Arsenal?
Their conversion. Like you have a lot more Man City players that are scoring goals. I don't know the last.
But I gotta be honest. I'm not seeing the crosses get to anybody. Like it's not like Aubameyang should have scored that. Lacazette should have hit that in. It's like Willian just kicked it off for a corner kick again. Like that's what I'm seeing.
Lacazette was close though. Lacazette was really close with one of the headers.
Yeah, he was close.
Was it Lloris that just had like a crazy save?
No, he did have a save. It was it a header or was it like I thought Lacazette kind of like got it at his feet, turned really quickly, and just hit it. And
I know Alba's was a header that went over the goal. Like,
okay, well, shoot. Then you guys do have. You're right. There are some non-conversion attempts going on. You know, I can't wait to see y'all play Leeds United. It'll just be an exciting game full of like misses. Like Leeds is another team that just looks so good offensively, but they don't score enough to look as good.
They don't score exactly. They
just don't score.
I mean, whatever, man. Let's talk about your team, man.
You said
let's talk about Chelsea.
Whatever, man. I mean, I gotta say we don't miss Willian, but I told you that at the beginning of this season. Christian Pulisic is very frail, but he's back.
Baby shit, bro.
He is on. I mean, we're just gonna have to see. Obviously, like he was very impressive in the restart. He's been injured like too many times to count after that, and now
he's man of glass.
Well, I mean, it's just tough. I don't know if it's the way this league is played. Like now, Ziyech's hurt again, so we're having trouble on our wings. Giroud, yes. Like, all right. So I said from day one, Timo Werner is not my top striker on the squad, and everything I've been seeing thus far has confirmed it. He should definitely start. He just cannot start as a striker because he is not clinical enough as a finisher. You know, he could go to Arsenal and just fit right in. All right, that's my last one. So I've been preaching Tammy's name. Tammy didn't start, the first 5 games of the season. And then he came on, scored some goals. And then we realized how much we missed that big striker link up play. And like you said, speaking of big striker link up, here is Olivier Giroud sitting on the bench, patiently waiting, buying his time, and scores a motherfucking hat trick +1 in the Champions League against Sevilla. This ain't no, and I'm not going to say like we were already sewn up. Chelsea was already through. Sevilla was already through. It wasn't like, dire needs. It wasn't a super important game. Sevilla didn't play all of their players, but Rakitic was playing. Like they had their players playing, and Giroud went off, and they were class goals too. And I've been telling y'all about that. Like, I get it. Giroud's no Cristiano. He's not going to score. He's not going to be the one person you depend on in that game, in those games where it's 0-0 in the 90th minute. Actually, that's not true. I will depend on Giroud in the 90th minute of a 0-0 game. I will not depend on Giroud to game in and game out. Give me I don't depend on Giroud to give me 25 goals a season.
Not if it's a game that really matters like that, to be honest with you. So I don't know.
There's multiple examples of Giroud coming on for Arsenal and for Chelsea off the bench and scoring in games that really matter. Like scoring crazy.
That's a really tough thing to say about Giroud. He definitely gets you goals.
For Arsenal, I'll say.
He's come on for Arsenal.
Like Matt said, Giroud's Aguero, but he's probably your best guy coming off the bench.
Yeah, I'll say that. Yeah.
If you need goals.
For a bench guy.
For a bench guy, if you need goals. And I say bench guy with all respect to him. Like, again, he's a starter on the France national team, and it's no secret. Like, he did not start the first game of the World Cup. We've said it millions of times, but he started every game after that because, like, he brings something that just is important to the game. And it's like having somebody who's big and who will take a touch and who will link up. And, it doesn't always mean goals, but clearly we see that, he can score goals too, and he can score class goals. He's chipping keepers, dinking, heading the ball, taking one touch and slotting.
Sure. He changes the climate of the game when he steps on a field that can't be denied.
So,
for sure.
I mean, and I got to say, against Leeds, I was actually unhappy, even despite his 4 goals in the Champions League game earlier that week. I was like, I really hope Frank doesn't play him because Leeds is a team that literally all they do is go up and play fluid through ball football. And we need, against a team like that, I would rather have a counterattacking striker. Like I would rather have some speed up there. That is a game Timo Werner would start for me up there. But, just like they typically do, Leeds went up first. And who was it who tied the game up to eventually lead us to a win? It was Olivier. Shit. I'm Gucci with that. Honestly, I am totally Gucci.
You're Gucci because you're a Chelsea fan. I'm just a hating Arsenal fan.
Listen, it's not even about hate. It's just about like seeing what teams are really starting to take shape. And even in my opinion, Chelsea still doesn't seem like they have a whole lot of shape, but defensively we're sound as hell. Midfield, we've got people running and working hard in the midfield. You know, people talk a lot of shit about Mason Mount, but his ass is working hard running in the midfield. And then really, in my opinion, we haven't found it up top. So like the best is yet to come for us, you know, but you look at us at some teams around the league and, you know,
he was really not trying to say us, but I know what you're saying, motherfucker.
I mean, City's is also like not producing, you know, like City just don't look like they have a strategy. Like the lack of Aguero is really starting to show.
Really showing,
you know, and quite frankly, the lack of Fernandinho too. Like they're missing something in the midfield, they're missing something up top, missing something defensively. You know, it just is what it is.
I think it was a bad sale for Arsenal to sell Giroud.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, dude. That's exactly right, because that's what you guys need right now.
Yeah, absolutely, who we need.
Don't have a guy that's coming up. Like Lacazette is just not working. I don't know
the game before though, his ripper was pretty good too. Come on, you can't say.
That's what I'm saying. But Lacazette is too much up and down. You know what I mean? Does he come off the bench? Does he start? Like, can you make an argument?
It doesn't get you big goals.
But is that him though for inconsistency on Arteta's part? Like you playing him sometimes.
I mean,
playing
Pepe
him
was apparently a scorer in Ligue 1, but
Pepe was definitely a scorer in France.
Besides against, recently, but
and it's not even about scoring. Like Pepe doesn't produce either, and I think, it's tough. Like Dale has said it in the past too. Like they don't give this man enough chances. How many chances do you need to just go on and show that you are like a player that deserves to just be on the field, whether you're scoring or not? Like damn, like every time I see Adama Traore, whether he comes off the bench for Wolves or comes off the bench for Spain, you're like, damn, this dude deserves to be on the field. You don't see that in Pepe.
Bro.
Yeah,
he's crazy.
He's crazy, and you say that, and he's not even scoring goals like that. He's not doing crazy stuff. You just see like defenders like are backing up and like scared as shit every time he comes up the field, and like finally. His big ass is not just running out of bounds. Like that was his issue back in the day. Like he was just too fast for his own good. He would just run past people and then overrun the field. Now he's doing this thing where he like stops and he like knows that if I start again, you cannot catch me.
You can't catch me. Exactly.
Change the direction.
He's been in Neymar's, training, taking his training videos or something.
God, this guy. You and Neymar. Your obsession with Neymar is disgusting. I was like,
Speaking of Neymar, shit, let's switch to France. They in the Champions League this week, they could have been knocked out. They played United, and United has had their ticket shit for the last 2 years. Like every time I'm like G'd up to see like a Paris United like battle. Like it just kind of ends up Paris just doesn't look too good, and then Rashford low-key turns up. Rashford loves playing Paris.
Yeah,
Rashford loves playing Paris. And even though they didn't win this past week, you could see it. Rashford was playing well too. Like Rashford was ready for this game.
His track record, he's already how much more confident could you be? He was passing them packing.
And that's kind of what I'm wondering. Like we talk a lot of, I've talked some shit about Rashford on this team. We've definitely talked shit about Man U, who are also just not doing, as too well. But is Rashford getting too much flat? Is he actually the striker United deserve and need?
I think they expect a lot from him.
The second striker.
Who's won? Greenwood?
Can't be Cavani.
No. What I mean by that is that he's a second striker, he's not a true striker.
Oh, okay.
He's that guy. He's a Griezmann, right, for Atletico. And you need that Aguero. You need someone that's going to finish. He's going to pull people away.
Yeah.
And then pass it. They need to have Son and Kane. That's perfect. Son's the perfect second striker.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
My challenge to that one is that Man United are able to create top strikers into absolutely nothing.
Yes.
So like is he a second striker at Man U, but a real striker somewhere else? Or
I think so.
That's a good point.
He can probably do the job.
I think that's a good point. It's definitely Man United's post Alex Ferguson. And are they really turning top strikers into? Well, I guess Lukaku is a huge example.
Lukaku, Martial,
Lukaku's a
where's Martial?
beast,
What's up
bro.
with him?
Lukaku is a beast,
Martial?
but I don't think Lukaku really found himself until after he left United. Like Lukaku was the man, yes, at Everton, but he was playing at Everton. You know, Lukaku could never get in on Chelsea. We brought him back and we ended up having to sell him. And then he winds up on Man United. That was his first real team to show that he could be a top striker on a top team. And, you know, like you're right, like Man United is toxic, but I just wonder, you know, I wonder if an Aguero goes to Man United, will he just fade away? Maybe Aguero's
Absolutely.
not a good one. Yeah, because Aguero's already faded.
Fade away,
We had
man.
Alexis Sanchez. Sanchez faded away, bro.
Yeah, but here's the difference. Sanchez is still in the shadows. Like Lukaku went to Inter and turned the fuck up. Sanchez is coming off the bench every game in the 80th minute for Martinez after Martinez scores like a goal or two. You know, like we're the best of Sanchez is kind of behind us. It feels like to me.
I 100% Lukaku could have like reached like peak performance if he was at an older Man U.
Yeah,
like, he's a top striker.
Yeah, he is a top striker. He is a top.
Well,
Y'all saw my Instagram post.
Yes, sir.
He is a top striker. That they were another team in the Champions League who had to win. Like what a weird group that is. It's like Madrid, Inter, Mönchengladbach, and like Shakhtar or something. And Madrid and Inter are at the very bottom.
At the bottom.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's like what this is 2020 for sure.
Yeah, no, it's strange. I mean, Madrid has just been in this kind of weird thing, and like I think we've all been just kind of waiting for them to crumble. Like, you know, like they weren't that good last year, but like they were better than Barcelona and ended up winning the league. So it was like, okay, maybe Madrid's not that bad, right? Then this year it's been this, you know, and also Benzema scored like 20 something goals. You know, so it was like, oh, like we all had to remember Benzema, who, you know, show them who you are, Benzema. We forgot after Cristiano how deadly he is. But like all that said, like, nah, they don't really look that good. Like they got two wing players, you know, yeah, I guess it's Rodrigo and Vinicius, and they're like exciting. You got Hazard, who's constantly injured. Whoa, talk about another player.
That
like,
totally, yeah, that was,
I don't know. So I guess all this to say, back to my Man U point or Man U question is like, you know, is it just the club right now as it stands? Like, I mean, I think they need new leadership, 100%. Like, just, you know, not just from the manager, but maybe even higher.
To your point, I think Man U is like a very fun team to play on FIFA, but for some reason these guys just don't connect.
Yeah,
100%. They have really good players.
They have great players.
For sure.
They have great players.
Something is happening. It's just like they're like doing individual training all day long.
I guess so. And so Bruno Fernandes came in and was like the first guy to go, hey, we should all train together. But that's only taking them so far anyway.
So what if Pogba leaves? Do you think Pogba turns up? Or
but
no?
if, like, should Pogba leave now?
I think so.
He's always like my number one midfielder drafted in like any like fantasy, like Pogba every single time. But the man looks very different from France to Man U.
Yeah, from Juve, you know, just everything in the whole.
There's no way like that type of athlete could be a bad performer on your team. Like you must be doing something wrong if you can't
right. Like I'm saying the same thing, but he's been given opportunities at Man U to just show stuff, and I will say I see moments of like, damn, that's Pogba.
Moments, but that's all it is though.
But yeah, like almost kind of to the same Pepe thing, like you need to show a bit more too, even if your team's garbage. No,
I don't know.
Putting Pepe and Pogba. What? Pogba's.
No, yeah. But how much higher?
He's got that dude. Everyone thinks like he came into England and they're like, oh, he's got to be more physical. He's got this, you know, he got a physique, bro. Like he's strong, but he doesn't play like he's strong. He plays like a true like creative cam, right? And they put him like when Mourinho was there, he's like he's got to be more physical. Pogba, that's because he's like some like, you know, buff black dude. He's not going to be the strongest guy on the field. That's not his thing. He doesn't like to get touched. He's the guy that's juking dudes, making stuff happen, and then makes the play and shoots from like 35 yards out. And
he can shoot from far. But I honestly, are you even being harsh? Because Pogba, like I see Pogba shield the ball and hold on to it. Like part of his game is just deep lying. And maybe you're right. I don't think Pogba's a Conte. I don't think he's a tackler or a
not
just,
by any means.
Just sit and be an enforcer in the midfield. But I agree with you that he's clearly though he has this kind of wide array of skills, he's clearly more a creative player than he is, more of your generic strong midfielder, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
so sorry, question then, and since we have Juan on the call who's a Man City fan, would you go with a Yaya Toure or in his prime or a Pogba in his prime? Because I feel like Yaya Toure.
That's a great question.
And Pep Guardiola did too, but Yaya was just so good at what he does.
Yaya's amazing, dog.
Yaya was one of my favorite players.
Me too,
for sure.
Me too.
Was
I was sad when he left Barcelona.
He's just so much more athletic than everyone else in the midfield.
But Yaya did a lot. Yaya did not play a lot of defense. When Yaya was in his prime at City, he did what he wanted. They sat, I forget who they sat behind him, but they sat two midfielders around him, and he just went on his marauding runs. I think, I can't remember who it was who was just sitting behind him, holding that up. City's defense was also much better with Lescott and company, and I guess they had Korolev and somebody else on the right.
James Milner? Wasn't it James Milner?
Yeah, James Milner sitting behind him and somebody. Well, shoot, we can look that up.
Did Korolev play CDM?
I just feel like Pogba, us thinking about Pogba, especially as he developed, we were wow, he should hit great heights. But I low-key think Yaya Toure will hit great heights for not being having the same hype, but for some reason just able to get shit done or just being on better teams. That's debatable.
That is debatable. I mean, again, pound for pound, that Man U team is probably very similar to that City team. I mean, City didn't even get to the heights the 2012, 2013 cities, with Balotelli and Dzeko and Aguero and shit, Clichy and Korolev and they had Jesus, Navas, they had players on that team.
You talk about the marauding runs. It's
yeah.
Yaya was doing a lot of defensive work at Barcelona.
Yaya was a DM, super DM. I didn't even know Yaya had this ability until he got to City. I literally thought Yaya was just there to push people off the ball and pass the ball. Right. They turned him into a Patrick Vieira at Barca, but he turned into something else at City.
For me personally, I feel that's what they do with a lot of black players. They're oh, defense. You're good at defense. It's
exactly. You're good at tackling.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm creative.
Right. What is Thomas Partey is just as creative. And so is that what's happening to Pogba?
Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
Partey was doing his thing, bro. And now he's bro, it just don't make. Yeah.
Alex Song started thinking he could start doing things.
Dog, I saw that too. Alex Song was playing basically center midfield / attacking mid on Barca whenever he got in the game, which was 3 games out of 50. But yeah, I mean that is a good point. Maybe they're just relegating you to what they see in you. And when I see Pogba, I just see a big physical black player who can play.
But it's have you watched his earlier games? Bro, do you know who he is before he gets to your team? Because he's not that. He's never been that.
Yeah.
He was the finesse guy. The finesse guy that can rip the ball from fucking
I gotta be honest, I don't really see him playing in the cam role either. He's not an attacking midfielder. He's not a
I think he can be.
I think he can be too, but Deschamps doesn't even play him in attacking midfielder. He kind of sits back. They just look better because Conte is the point of that spear, and he goes up and down. So Pogba can just float wherever he sees fit. Yeah. And then Rabiot obviously can just shore it up a little bit. But yeah,
I think the choices that he made and the teams that he went to kind of are defining how he becomes how he turns out long term as a player. You know what I mean? I feel if he went to a multitude of other teams other than Manchester United, who kills players, he'd be doing
Real
more
Madrid,
of what we
PSG.
saw at Juve.
That's so crazy. Yeah. Where do you see him going? I would love for him to be at PSG.
That's what I was thinking. I think, man, that team would be. But I mean, would it though? Because I thought United was going to be ridiculous.
I agree with that.
On paper, playing FIFA, they are ridiculous.
Yeah, they would be the most fun FIFA team ever. But But they would honestly like Madrid seems to be at the top of the list though. Like everybody knows Pogba's like either headed to Madrid, wants to go to Madrid.
Hazard went there. I don't know. Like what the fuck happened, bro?
I don't know.
I know they're looking for that caliber of a player. Definitely but like the Juve Pogba, not looking for the United Pogba.
What do you think Hazard's problem is? Like I've never seen. I mean, we see people who play in England go to Spain and struggle a lot. And even though we know the English game is like a lot tougher, and like what is it? Is it the fact that Hazard doesn't have like people all gunning him down, so he doesn't get to use his like body? Like he's strong, like he's very solid, kind of stocky dude. Maybe that suited him and created the player he was in the EPL.
It's more technical, right?
Anymore. Yeah,
it's more technical. That's why they benched. So one of the things that stuck out to me as we're talking about all this, Yaya Toure got benched because Sergio Busquets was coming up, and Sergio Busquets was much more technical.
Then Yaya was for
Toure
sure.
didn't want to fight for time. One of the main problems with Arsenal is no one's fighting for positions. City right now, same issue. No one's fighting, like with just Jesus does really, really well coming off the bench when he's fighting for minutes. Thrives in that.
100%.
Aguero, same thing. Arsenal, if you had a Giroud, right, you would be having more people fighting for positions.
Yeah.
You have Lacazette.
Feeling like they have to step up. They have to,
Lacazette and Aubameyang are a lock. Who's gonna start over them?
Yeah,
that's
they're
why
comfortable.
What Liverpool has right now is so interesting because look at every position they have. They have all of these
replacements.
Like 2 people for each position, and they're all fighting for it. And they're managing Klopp as a person, as a manager, managing to keep them together and not have anyone leave. Shaqiri is a starter on any team.
Oh, for sure.
Is he though? I'm so confused about Shaqiri.
Yeah, bro.
Because here's the thing: Shaqiri does not get a lot of minutes at Liverpool. So, like at that point,
Liverpool, bro.
I get it's Liverpool, but like again, if you can start on any team, would you want to sit here and fight against Salah and Mane and Jota?
Shaqiri came from Bayern. Like, it is Liverpool today, but when he joined them, it was not the Liverpool.
It was not, and he was still not getting in.
Exactly. But they made it so that everyone wants to be there, bro. It's the craziest thing.
You'll never walk alone.
Struggling.
Hold on, Juan. To your point, though, like how? Okay, yes, the Spanish league is more technical, but Hazard's a technical player.
Yeah, but he was using his body. Like
he was using a lot of.
Is he a technical player? Right. Dude. Like Hazard was a slow start player. I mean, much like Neymar, but Neymar dribbles. Like Hazard is slow, try to hit me. Oh, I'm too strong. It bounce off you and then dribble away from you kind of player. I guess. I don't know. Like this is like my understanding of it because I have zero clue why he can't do some of the same things in the Spanish league when nobody's at his ankles that he did when he was playing at Chelsea. And like literally everybody knew Hazard is the only player they have. Let's go after him. And he was able to just get past players. I don't know I don't know if it's technical ability. It's just tough to see. And maybe it's just changing a team. Maybe it's just being in a different locker room, being around different expectations from a manager. Like, and suddenly, those things don't translate as easily. Like when Cristiano walks into a locker room, I guarantee he doesn't care about any player, any manager, anything. The pinball table, he doesn't give a fuck about any of that. He is about to outwork everybody and show everybody else what greatness looks like. You know what I mean? But I don't think everybody else, and that's what I wonder about Messi.
Player.
Huh?
You're talking about a one-of-a-kind player, man. Ronaldo is...
and I wonder that about Messi. I really would like to see him go to another team and like figure out if he can just produce in the same rate. Like it's a different mentality going to somewhere where that's just unfamiliar. And Cristiano just doesn't seem like he's ever gave a fuck.
Yeah. I see that absolutely. But I think Messi's the type of guy that's just gonna probably stay at Barcelona till the end, maybe, unless I want him to leave.
I see Messi at City next year. I really do.
I see him somewhere else.
He's going.
I see him at PSG.
He's older, bro. He's gonna go to Premier League and get fucked up, bro.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I don't see that.
I don't know why. Like, I mean, honestly, if Koeman works out, like, why would he want to leave and like kind of jeopardize?
That's what I'm saying. His family's
tired,
there.
He's tired.
Like, nah, bro. But he cares about his family more.
He did
You
get the
guys
He's
president
tired
fired.
every single time Argentina like comes second.
Yeah, you're right. And then he comes
He
crawling back.
retires, and then he's like, "I'm back
Yeah.
again."
That's
Exactly.
different.
Yes.
That's your nation, bro. Like that. Like you know how prideful Argentinian
Dude, but
people are.
yeah,
Like they
Messi
love
doesn't
their country.
seem like
Right, but if he was
seems
that
like a very
prideful, he wouldn't
loyal
just be quitting every tournament they lose. You know, like every
the
tournament, it's like
media
Messi has
turns on
officially
him.
retired.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
Media
he's
turns
just
on him
trying
hard,
to.
bro.
By the way, Gareth Barry was sitting behind Yaya Toure. It was Gareth
That's just
Barry
another white boy workhouse type guy.
and Nigel de Jong. It was Gareth Barry, Nigel de Jong, and Yaya in the middle. So, like, yes, yeah, like if Pogba had a Nigel de Jong and Gareth Barry, I think he'd be straight. Like, I think he would be.
Thomas McKinney's not doing it.
Doug, well, so that was my point. I was like, but they never played them before Bruno got there. Nobody ever played two sitting like Matic and McKinney or whomever, like whoever you want to sit in the back there. They never played that way. They were like they
For
played
France, who's two sitting behind Pogba?
So for France, they play three straight across, and it's Pogba on the right, Conte in the middle, and Rabiot or Matuidi or whomever on the left.
And we have seen Conte been put in attacking positions.
And Conte typically finds himself in attacking positions. And honestly, like as crazy as it was when Sarri was doing it at Chelsea, it actually doesn't look that crazy anymore. Like now you just see Conte's radius on the field has just stretched more forward. He's still getting back and tackling people. He's just all over the place, man. Like
that's one thing, he'll get all over the field, though. You know what I'm saying? So
I still think he's like one of the craziest underrated players. You know, like obviously, like he was highly rated. People are even giving him Ballon d'Or conversations the year before the World Cup or the year of the World Cup, and then suddenly Chelsea doesn't look so good, and now Conte doesn't look so good. Like that didn't make sense because Chelsea still was top 4 both of those years coming out. So I don't know. I don't know, but something has to happen with Pogba. I don't know all this PSG talk though. Like, aren't they in debt? Can they pick up Messi? Can they pick up Pogba?
I don't know. They got Neymar, dog, and that was a ton of money. So I don't know what.
Right. Neymar can't go anywhere now.
No,
Neymar needs to bring people to him. And we know Mbappe is headed to Madrid at some point. Like, I don't know how many more years.
With the sale of that, they have money for Messi or Pogba.
Who would you go for, Messi or Pogba?
Shit, go for both.
Oh, if you could get both, go for both. Go for both.
Go for both. Go for both. You can get Pogba for a cool 100.
Messi's getting old.
Yeah, Messi is kind of getting old. I'm like, what are you paying? What do you if you're PSG? You're PSG and you're clearly getting 200. You're getting 200 million for Mbappe. What are you paying for Pogba? What are you paying for Messi?
I think Pogba costs you 200 million. Seems like prices are very inflated.
Messi becomes that what is that? He becomes a sponsor for the World Cup in Qatar. And he only gets sold for like 30 million. Like they give him 30 million. And all this back end money, dude.
It was huge back end bread, bro.
That would be huge. That is some PSG shit. No. We only got Messi for 20 million. He just happens to be the new face of Qatar Airways.
Faces on every plane and
Right. Oh, by the way, Nike has paid 500 million for Messi to get. Oh, Adidas. I mean, Adidas has now paid us 500.
You seen Messi got his own brand, the Messi brand now. I was like, okay.
I did not see this.
Yeah, like he's really pushing the his Messi logo.
So Adidas is trying to do a Jordan version of for soccer.
I guess so. I mean, I don't like the logo. The gear is very like it's not popping at all. I'm just like, what are you doing? But I mean, it's Messi, so it's gonna sell. You know what I'm saying? So,
dog, the Messi reversible jacket. This is what I'm looking at right now. This is
the
messystore.com. I'll throw it up. Like this is crazy. Is this real? I don't even understand. I don't know, man. This is what we're looking at. We got. Look at this guy over here.
See what I mean? See what I mean?
Get your Messi puff coats. Shop all solar ball jackets.
Hey, look, Shaq sold those ugly ass shoes. Shaq sold like 10 million of them ugly ass Shaq shoes.
He did, and
I had those, bro. Hey, don't disrespect those, bro. They got me balling. Okay.
You did not have the Shaq shoes.
I had the Shaq shoes. I grew up very poor.
Did you have the Birdman lugs too?
I had the Birdman lugs. I had those.
Me too.
Hey, man, my mom was like, you don't get Jordans, you get Shaqs. They pay less. I'm like, all right.
Respect it. I respect it.
I respect it. I definitely
had
had
the
Shaq.
Birdman
I had
lugs.
Shaq. I had Shaq shorts. I did not have Shaq shoes. I couldn't. I just like they would have killed me. I would have died in middle school.
I got made
with
fun
that
of. All my black friends made fun of me every
All
day.
my black friends.
Just so you know.
All of them.
Like all of them. Like I never
Oh,
got.
yeah.
They're like
Nobody
"Oh,
else. Everybody else was like, "Oh,
Shaq
cool,
shoes."
cool shoes, cool tennis shoes."
No one else cared. No one else.
Yeah,
cared.
of
I
course,
played
especially-
basketball every day. That was my life. Basketball every day.
Yeah.
So,
You
We
had to
gotta
hoop
get
in
a hoop
something fresh.
session, by the way. Juan, we have to get a hoop session for sure, bro.
Yo, if,
dude, you're off. You cap.
cap,
Nah, man, I
cap.
All right.
Yo, eat, pray, ball. We love soccer, but we hoop.
Yeah,
So if
we
y'all are
do it
trying to
all.
catch me on the court. Wait, so Thomas, just to switch away from soccer real quick. You recently have a story. I'm not talking about I'm talking about COVID. This is the time we're in. We're here in LA and you know, we are about to we're about to have a lockdown that will last for the next 3 weeks through December. To a point at which the mayor of LA said, y'all folks aren't even allowed to walk. Ain't no parties, no bar hopping, no this, no that shit. Don't even go and take walks. Like that's what he said, because that's how afraid he is.
For real.
I you know, we've talked about COVID before on the show. I still get kind of confused about everything surrounding it, because again, it is one of those weird things where, you know, people aren't really dying at the rates that you would call this like a crazy disease, but we do know hospitals are filling up and shit, whether you have COVID or not. Like if you get in a car accident and the ER is packed full of people who barely can breathe because they have COVID, that's an issue. That is just as much as an issue as anything.
Absolutely.
But give me your take on it. Give us your take.
My take on it is, I feel like just as a nation, we really didn't take it as serious in the beginning. You know, with our current administration, thank God that is, you know, that we're.
But even deeper than that, do you think you took it serious in the beginning?
Hell yeah, I was messed up. I wasn't out going in super, you know, large groups and stuff. I mean, I protested one time, but I made sure, you know, we wore gloves and we wore masks and stuff. I wasn't out here with the people saying like, it's not real, it's not a thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
hey man, we're not judging you. We're not judging. Were you at a party or two here and there?
For sure. Pate after pate, but gloved up, masked up. When I got there, you know, I wasn't like out here taking shots with people and all that. I was sitting here with my drink, like chilling, you know what I'm saying? Outside on the balcony a lot of the times, you know? I wasn't, you know, but also in my head, I was like, all right, well, if I'm in these same places, there's no way I can get it. I got COVID from when I was working. When I was working in Pittsburgh, we were doing, you know, the Roy Jones documentary. And a couple of days before I got back, I was literally going to eat some pizza and some Buffalo Wild Wings, watch some football, and I could not taste anything, bro. Couldn't taste a thing. I'm like, oh man, this is, you know, this is it, you know. So I was like, all right, let me see what symptoms I come up with. So immediately after, achy as hell, fatigued, felt like I was wearing a weighted vest when I was breathing. I felt like I can only probably breathe, maybe I'll say 70-80% as deep as I usually do. And I was running 101 fever. So it was bad news. Came back, you know, stayed quarantined away from everybody for 2 weeks, and just went through all the symptoms, ginger tea, all the vitamins I could possibly take. And, you know, I was just like, man, I'm gonna be, I didn't think I was gonna die, but I wasn't going to no hospital, because I know, like, one, they're already overrun. As soon as you get back here, like, to sign up for an appointment to check if you had COVID, they were like 3 or 4 days away, where normally you could just go at any moment, you know? So I know it's spiking up everywhere. I will say, like I said, I'm recovered. I'm good. But at the same time, you know, I don't have any prior conditions. I don't have any respiratory conditions. You don't know who has what. You know, you're walking past these people, and you don't know who has asthma or who had bronchitis. Any of these things that can take people out. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's inconsiderate if you do test positive or do feel like you have any symptoms, to continue to just go out and do whatever you want to do. Like, I had symptoms, I stayed in the crib.
Did you test positive, or did you just have symptoms?
No, I had symptoms, got tested positive, and immediately, you know, I was quarantining before that, because once you lose smell and taste, you're like, this ain't no regular
this ain't no
picnic, bitch. You feel me? Like, bro, it's not a game. It's not a game. So
it must be my allergies. I can't taste anything. Shit,
that
must be
that's
the
what a lot of
pollen in the
people-
air.
I have a friend that had like a scratchy throat, and that's a crazy thing too. I talked to the people at the CDC. They have a hotline and everything. You can have a cold or you can have the flu and have COVID at the same time, bro. That's the craziest part. You can have multiple sicknesses. So it's just like, bro, why risk other people's lives that you have no idea about? I just think it's pretty inconsiderate if you just like, oh, I have a couple of symptoms, but I don't think it's COVID. So get tested if you feel that way, and stay the fuck away from people. Because if my mom dies because someone else is stupid, like it's an issue. You feel me? So I would hate for me to cause someone to be hospitalized for this. It's not a game, man. Wear a mask and wash your hands as much as you can. So
that's the PSA. COVID's still out here.
It's
Juan,
still out here.
Yeah, it definitely is. Juan, you were saying something before the show, talking about
yeah, man, I got COVID too. But I got COVID.
Man, I'm gonna have to social distance even further from y'all. No, I'm just kidding.
4 months ago. No, but like, so I got a phone call. I went to my friend's birthday party, and there was 10 people, and it was all outside. And I took off my mask only to drink, and I don't know what happened. Seriously, don't know. She makes a joke. She goes, I got tested today, Chan. So I'll let you know tomorrow. And she just cracks up and drinks more. Unbeknownst to her, I mean, she tested positive. I get a phone call 2 days from her husband. She was so embarrassed, I think.
Wow. Right.
Had the husband call you.
And he goes, hey, man, Alyssa tested positive, man. You should probably get checked out. And I'm all, oh, okay. I didn't feel anything. The next morning I wake up and I couldn't taste coffee. I couldn't taste anything. And I had my appointment scheduled. I got tested positive. I'm like, damn, dude. And just like, so I had asthma growing up. I don't have asthma as an adult, but now my breathing's a little weird, like at times it feels like I have asthma again. But I don't have an inhaler and I don't want to go to the doctor. So, I mean, I'm just ignorant. But yeah, man, I had a fever. One Tylenol. Well, you pop one Tylenol and then the fever just drops down. Is the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Like it was super quick. I mean, within 20 minutes it drops down.
Yeah.
So you go from feeling, and a lot of it, man, I think a lot of it too was psychological. Like Thomas, did your nose just plug up randomly at times?
Like you plugged up randomly, and like you said, I'd have a fever, and then one Dayquil, and then symptoms just. I'm like, oh, okay.
Super weird.
So do you think it's like recognizing, like your own brain is kind of recognizing you have some virus, and now it is like almost trying to show you its own signs of like, okay, you must have COVID, because suddenly, like, I'll tell you this, whenever I have a cold, I get so confused when my one nostril plugs up, and then I'll just be blowing out of that one nostril to try to unplug it, and then out of nowhere, the other nostril will just plug up, and this nostril will be straight. Like, have you had that happen before? And I don't know if that's psychological. I don't know if there's actual like, swelling going on in the nose. Like, but I just know that shit is annoying as hell, because like there's nothing in there. Like, I'll dig with a Q-tip all in there. Nothing's in there. Why is my nostril plugged up? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know.
You're like,
yeah,
I don't even know.
Mine does that too. It'll be like one side, and then I'll lean, like when I go to sleep, one side, when I have a cold or something, one side will be plugged up, and then I'll turn, and then the other side will be blocked, like it switches sides. It don't even make no sense to me.
What about the stigma around it, just around COVID period? Like, Juan, we didn't know. I didn't know until today that you had it. Not that it was like a thing, you know what I mean? But I do feel like there's almost a AIDS like stigma around COVID, where it's like, don't talk about it. Nobody has it. We don't, you know what I mean? But like, we know it's out there, kind of thing. Maybe not as close, because AIDS was very much connected to the gay community. So it was like, if you had AIDS, you're gay. I don't know what the stigma around COVID is, but it does feel like
gay. We have AIDS. We have
we have COVID. I'm gay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But like, what was there? Like, was there any like, I don't want to tell anybody, or like, I don't, like, did that contribute mentally to your, you like feelings or anything like that?
No, man. I mean, I felt a lot of it was paranoia, like, because you read all this stuff and you get really paranoid. Like, am I going to be that one person that dies from this?
Right.
Like, you feel that way. I don't know if Thomas felt that way, but I'm like, man, is this, and then so it gets gradually worse. You lose taste. And then, there was one day that I felt sick, but honestly, my whole sickness was maybe 5 days.
Yeah.
And then, but I kept testing positive, so I was still staying away from people.
How long did you test positive after?
2 weeks.
Damn.
But so I quarantined for 14 days, actually 16 days. And then I called, the CDC line. They said, you're no longer contagious. You don't have any symptoms. How long have you been symptomless? This is going on day 7 now. And they were like, you're okay. But I'm still like not going to be around everybody because I want to wait till I test negative. But they said like, that's why we tell people not to test immediately after the quarantine period, because it's still in your system. Technically, you're going to test positive for, sometimes 2 or 3 tests after. So you might as well wait a week and then test again.
Right.
So there's no real answer. Just you got to be safe, and you don't know how your body's going to react. I lost my smell and taste day 3, I think, or day 2, and then I got it like right. Thank God, right before Thanksgiving, because I had people drop off some fire ass food. The collard greens, baked macaroni and cheese was slapping, and I could taste it. I was like, "Ooh, child!"
I could taste it,
boy.
So you know relatively when you probably were infected, and so you could like measure the days after that you started getting symptoms that you.
Yeah, 19th of last month I felt achy, my back was hurting and all that, and then I didn't think, I just thought I was tired because we were working the documentary, and the hours are just all over the place and everything. So I just thought I was fatigued, and then 2 days later, then I lost my smell, and I'm like, okay, this ain't regular. Like, it's cold out here in Pittsburgh, but not cold enough to, not be smelling and tasting shit. So then after that, that's when the aches started happening, the fatigue started happening, and the chest felt like I had like a 20-pound weighted vest. I was like,
so is LA crazy for dropping these shutdowns, or is this like nah?
I think they smart because LA people don't really care, especially it's nice out. If it's cold, it's cold on the East Coast, New York.
People aren't out anyway.
People cooling, like already just chilling, spending time with their own. But out here in LA, you could still, I see people wanting to go to the beach, hiking all over the place. I see people
walking around. It's been 75 degrees.
Maskless and all that, and they're just like, maskless. At least have a mask because you are keeping. If you happen to be sick, you're not infecting everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like you're breathing your own. It's minimizing the contamination, for everybody else. But if you don't, and you're just out here breathing. You know what I'm saying? This just has me thinking regular, like, damn, people nasty. I see people go to the bathroom, don't wash their hands. So imagine, I already know this COVID shit gonna be spreading like wildfire. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So is it wild that fans are in the stands right now in the Premier League?
I think it's stupid. They're not testing everybody. They're not testing everybody.
They're not testing everybody at the door, but everybody's coming in with a mask on. It's not like 20,000. It's like 12,000, 1,200. 1,500, something like that.
And one person in that group can infect a multitude of people, and then go home and infect another multitude of people. There needs to be some kind of like rapid testing shit where it's positive or negative. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think.
I don't think they can do that. All they do is take people's temperatures. Like
they're losing so much money, though. I understand why, like they want to, but long term, like watch, give it a month or 2. Shit's going right up in that month.
You think England's gonna?
And they got Boris. Boris is worse than, well, he ain't worse than, but he's just as bad as 45. You feel me? Boris he's an idiot with an accent, bro. So like,
he's an idiot with an accent,
bro.
But I mean, but at the same time, you can go all around the world. They got fans in the stands in Germany too, and that's
but Germany was containing it, had everybody in their houses. You know what I'm saying? Like making sure nobody left the crib. Same thing with like China. Italy, you was on your balcony because you could not leave because motherfuckers was coming to check you. Like, bro, what the fuck is you doing out the house? Here, I could walk anywhere the hell I want. Well, I don't know about later after this bit, 3-week ban, basically.
Right. But you could have. I mean, AJ, I know in Houston, I mean, shit is basically open to a certain extent, right?
A lot of places are open. I mean, and like, even when you walk in, like they're not really enforcing you wearing masks or anything.
They don't enforce down there, really.
Yeah.
That is
people over the shit, bro. People are over it. People want to be over it.
That's kind of what I'm saying. In the
house.
I get that.
This is the land of the free, home of the brave.
I did not pay my taxes to be told how to breathe and where to breathe.
Goddamn. America ain't free if I gotta wear a mask.
Well, shit, you hear it first on this podcast. Like, it's not people who are so far away from you. It's not even 5 degrees, 4 degrees separation. It's like it's happening. People are getting COVID left and right. It might be something to stay inside with. That's crazy.
My good friend has 4 people that passed away in his family.
Wow.
4 people. One of them was 22 years old. She had no prior conditions, never had asthma, never had anything. Gone.
So that's like those are the stories you read about. Like I read about some children, like decaying in a hospital. But that's like 1 in a million stories, 1 in a billion stories, whatever. Like, do you think we're gonna get to the point now where like not only are we seeing people very close to us become infected, but like hear stories like this? Like that's crazy, bro. Like
It
I
is.
hate to
If
hear
we
it.
don't take care of ourselves and we don't keep, like, the older you get, the more susceptible you are for sure. Like my mom is 65 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, stay in the house.
Yeah,
Like
stay away.
you don't want to, because you don't want to risk it, because you don't know how it's going to infect you. I didn't know how it was going to infect me. You know what I'm saying? So, and I
How do,
was a little nervous.
how do y'all think this year's NBA season should be handled? They're trying to get it going, and they can't do the bubble again. They're just not. I mean, they could have done it for the end of the year last year, but they can't do it for a full season this year, and have people away from their families and away from their homes that long. Like, does it even
Sports
make
as a
sense?
whole, how is
Yeah,
sports as a whole going to continue? You know what I mean? I feel like America's based on capitalism and money, and nobody wants to lose money for sure.
right.
So I
LeBron
feel
doesn't
like,
want to lose a year off. Get
exactly.
into his 6 rings. There's a lot riding on this stuff.
Yeah. So the
But
world
if you
just
were the
doesn't want to. No one
commissioner, would
wants to
you just
sell.
say nah? Would you just say nah? Not until this vaccine, not until it's contained, or would you go, okay, we're gonna do it at the Staples Center or shit, the Forum? Like what's the one in Houston, the something oil stadium, Lucas Oil. We're gonna do it,
Oh
like
yeah.
just like 5 or so pillars where you can do it at big stadiums and have it safe.
I think they should take some precaution, because not taking any precaution is putting so many people at risk. Um, if you take no precautions, you're like, well, survival of the fittest. I mean,
Right, but how can you take precautions? Like you don't like that's the scary thing about this thing. You don't know who has it, when they have it, when they contracted it versus when they're showing symptoms versus when they're contagious. Like
so would you rather just not know and not wear gloves and not wear a mask, or would you do what you're supposed to do? Take a test once a week, maybe. Like this is the new normal. I like this is what it is now. I know people
I,
don't want to realize that, but this is what it has to be for people to be safe.
yeah,
So if
I've
you have to
had
take a couple more precautions, you wear condoms, right? You don't want to have babies and shit or STDs. Oh man, I don't want to wear condoms with those motherfuckers with the STDs, don't they? So
yeah, but
and with all the babies,
there's a lot of motherfuckers out there who don't wear condoms and roll the dice and they are
roll the
fine.
dice.
And
You heard it here.
that's what I'm saying. You heard it here first. Don't either Juan's shooting blanks or he is getting dangerously close. You
Getting
never know.
dangerous shooting up the club, boy.
You'll never know.
You'll never know. You don't know what's itching until it burns. I don't know. Again, it's these are all just like things I was thinking about. I don't obviously I'm in no position to lead any charges, or really my opinion doesn't really hold any weight, but I do think it's a crazy thing to have to think about. Like you got to think of the safety of, thousands of people, like even within the bubble, they had to worry about the safety of hotel patrons, or not patrons, but like hotel workers and chefs and trainers and media and people, like all kinds of people who are just adjacent to the actual basketball that's being played. So I don't know how they're doing it in soccer. I think they're just kind of fine in Europe to a certain extent, which is weird. I don't know how America's so bad.
We were well, I mean, because we're America, we don't think anything can happen to us. We live in a bubble of our own, especially with the way the media is, like, very separative, very divisive. People, like I said, landed it free. Like people really believe in that shit.
Yeah,
If you're
that's
black,
true.
I know you don't believe that shit.
We were
Landed
talking
no
about that at the
goddamn
top
free.
of the show. Like you'll hear
We
something
were.
completely different on Fox versus CNN. Like CNN is telling us that this is like The Walking Dead. Like everybody's stupid. You all need to be home. This is unless they're covering Trump, in which case they're all out, at the rallies there trying to show everybody how stupid he is or something. But like still, that's kind of what we're catching. I don't know,
Then
man.
you go to Fox, and then Fox is like, wearing masks is dumb. It's infringing upon our rights and all that stuff. And it's like,
Right.
if you wearing a mask saves lives, why would you not? Why would you not do it? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's an inconvenience, of course. There's a lot of things that inconvenience. You know what I'm saying? It's just a part of our new normal for now. It's not forever. It's not going to be You know what I'm saying? We're coming up with vaccines. You know what I'm saying? I think next month actually we're supposed to have vaccines,
They're
which
supposed
I
to
don't know,
release it.
depending on. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they're supposed to release it. I don't even know what vaccine it is.
I'm gonna wait for the part two. I'm not taking that first. That's like when the first iPhones come out, the new iPhones come out. I'm waiting to the next batch.
So I had a conversation with somebody about this stuff. Like what, like how would you be on the front lines of vaccination? Like obviously, most of the answers are no, but like I was having a conversation with people who have never taken vaccines. Like I've never taken the flu vaccine.
Those are the ones that don't strap up, that don't use condoms. Yes, sir. Look, go raise your hand again, Juan. Look at Juan, like I ain't gonna raise one.
I do, but I hear reports where like somebody's like, yeah, I took that flu vaccine that one time and I got really sick and I never took it again and I've been fine ever since. Like that stuff is scary. Like obviously I don't listen to anybody who's like the government is trying to implant stuff into all right, no. But like the other stuff, like I get, like I understand to a certain extent. Like, no, you don't want
because you black. You understand not trusting the government as a black man in America. Understand
it was a black man who told me.
Exactly.
But I do hear a lot of white women who say the same thing. Like, no, and it's not about trusting the government as much as it's like, no, we're not going to put any vaccines in our body. Yeah,
I hear that.
Well, not our body, our choice. That's a different agenda or a narrative.
What said they didn't want to put anything in their body? I know a lot of them are like, well, you're not going to tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's almost the same agenda. You know what I'm saying? So
I feel like that's the same agenda. You can't know, like, I want to abort my fetus and I don't want to get vaccinated. It's all the same agenda.
Look, you're not going to tell me what to do with my body. That's what the main thing is.
That's real. No,
and I do believe that. At this point, like I said, I'm waiting for that second batch because motherfuckers gonna be losing arms and skin gonna be falling off and shit. I'm like, I told you should have waited for part 2. Told you.
I don't know. All right.
Thomas is gonna be out here like the white man lied to us again.
Again. They came. Big Pharma came with the solution. You fell into the great white hype, and here we are.
Be on there with my goddamn with my bucket and the Quran. You feel me? My bow tie. You know what I'm saying?
The man
out there on the corner selling the bean pies.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, brother Isaiah X.
Yeah.
Thomas Muhammad.
Thomas Muhammad. Hey, that kind of hold up.
Thomas Muhammad. That might be a new thing. All right, boys. Anything we looking forward to for next week? I think we have Champions League. No, we don't. Do we have Champions League this week?
Yeah, Barcelona, Juventus.
Woo!
Oh yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, looking forward to that for sure. Who you think? Who you got?
I mean Barcelona, but I mean I'm just excited to see if Messi wants to play.
I want them both to be on the field. I want them both to want to be on the field.
It's not no Clasico, but I'll take it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Other notables, we got Leipzig United. That should be pretty good.
City Marseille.
City, yeah. Oh yeah, damn. You know, it's funny. All these teams I normally thought would be like, they're gonna wash them. It's
not like that this year. Again, like Inter Milan has to beat Shakhtar this week. They play them on Wednesday. We'll see how that goes. Let's see if Lukaku.
I think they were 2-0 this past week.
That was all Lukaku. It was actually he came back on them. I think they won 3-2 in the Champions League. Yeah. But that was a tough game. I think Atletico Madrid also need a win. They play Salzburg this week, so we got some games.
Yeah, and excited to see for sure.
Yeah, Chelsea, we got a game in hand, and we're playing Krasnodar. I guess we'll see a lot of Pulisic this week. We'll see.
They're gonna be gassing his ass up.
We'll see. He's still the great white hype, but I will say it seems like Weston McKennie is back to playing for Juve again, and he's getting to kind of show his personality a little bit and just be a fun-loving, young American black kid playing on one of the best teams ever.
How do you feel about the U.S. men's national team? How do you feel about them? Players is doing their thing separately. Gio Reyna. You know what I'm saying?
I think players are good. Obviously they played their best when they played like Panama or somebody who was just not a test.
Shout out to my Panamanians.
We're gonna have to see. I'm not a big fan of Berghalter. Like I don't know about the U.S. national coach right now. I think he just the way he came into Atlanta was the same way. Like he has a very specific style of play that doesn't.
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't seem.
It
seems like it seems like good ball, but it doesn't seem like there's like a direction. Like, you know, and sometimes, and that's kind of a Mourinho thing. Like, you know who your personnel is, you know what your strategy is. You're going to see what personnel fit your strategy.
Fits your strategy.
Right. So you know you have a great striker and ball, you know, player in Harry Kane. You're going to have him play more deep lying. You're going to send Son and Bergwijn and hopefully Bale and whoever up the wings to run fast on a counterattack. Like, he knows his players. I don't think Berghalter plays his personnel that way. He plays more
knows
like,
or cares what they do. He just puts them where they want.
He's just like, hey, this is my system.
Which is the problem with American coaches, bro. It's a problem every fucking time. You know what I'm saying? They just, you're gonna play what I want you to play type of situation. It's like, well, this is where I thrive.
Pep Guardiola does the same thing. So I mean, it just depends on you know, on where you can do it. You can't do it in a
how good the tactics are, though. It's how good the tactics are, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I don't know, man. You saw like Germany, right? You guys remember Germany last World Cup? They lost because their tactics they kept going the same side. They offloaded the same side the whole time and crossed it into small strikers.
Yep.
Yeah, that was weird too. Yeah, that was weird. You got like little Gnabry floating around and this and Werner. Like, you guys need a different. Yeah, you guys need a different strategy. But they're gonna be. We're gonna see. Again, we're on the Euro.
Leroy was like, all right, fuck out there.
Leroy is an interesting case himself. We're gonna have to see how
he plays out.
Yeah, I mean, like he started that game against Atletico and he looked pretty good, but João Felix looked way better than
he looked crazy. Better.
Yeah. He looked great. We'll see. We got things to look forward to. But until next time, you've been listening to the Eat Pray Ball podcast. We will catch you next week.
Wear a mask.
Party after party, then we mash up the place. Party after party, then we mash up the place. Mash up the place.
Big drill on the beat.
Yeah. Party after party. Yeah. Party after party. Yeah. Party after party. After party after party.